nowadays I think this is better suggestion, or just invade the free. Uh, the choose space, works better when it's like a free four, like this, stuff like this, right? But with space closer, but yeah, mm, okay. And you are white as well, so far pretty good. Okay, mm, K3, J4. It's super. It's kind of slow, right? So it's better for you to just protect here. If he takes, oops. If he takes this, you might be able to Tenuki or just Honey Connect. Maybe this is enough. Your group is super strong, so you don't need to worry that much. You can maybe take a this A move here. It's good for setting up your base, or yeah, helping your group, but it's really not a good idea at the beginning usually. And this is more used when you dive deep into moyos. In this case, it feels like you're just making white too safe. You would rather maybe in this case like just get a one space extension. Uh, mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh, mm, since he's very strong, this move is more for building a moyo, right? Than attacking. So and the middle is still very open. Uh, you're gonna need some sort of closing wall in this direction and in this direction. Um, and in that sense, this move might lose a little because it's gonna take you too much effort to finalize this center. Maybe taking a move around here. Uh, this shape is kind of incomplete. It still needs an extension. Um, and it's really annoying to have to face the third line approach, third line Kima approach. Um, yeah, it's pointing at the free Yaji. There's a peep here, and white can escape towards the middle. On the top left, we have an extension already, so it's pretty comfortable overall. For black, it's pretty close to a finished territory. Um, but on the right side isn't. Mm. Yeah, you do. You do. Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. R8. R8. Oh. The Yaji, so about the Yaji on the free, we have to be aware that if we dive on the free, for example, here, we might be able to live. But um, if black hits 2, it damages the AB shape by quite a big margin, and you're going to lose a lot of territory around C as well. So if you dive into one and live, it's not necessarily a good result for you. And in many AI variations, after you extend to A from B, you could just play here directly. And there are variations where white dives in here directly, and black tries to split up. White surrounds, gets back into the corner, and let's say black goes out again. Uh, and sometimes this is kind of even, or even like really the best for both sides. This sort of exchange. Um, so and some sometimes dropping down here for black is also the best choice, and we get into things like this where black switches its territory in the corner to a territory on the side, and this extra CD strength helps with attacking E as well. And black might be able to get some forcing moves around F, maybe not F, or maybe just a Kusumi. And this can or sometimes is the best variation for black. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Blocking here, since black is still strong, and poking at black will maybe or probably end in gote. Um, this makes things inefficient for white, because white will be adding extra stones in this area where white is already kind of strong, and losing center is kind of painful. So if we end up like this, having to protect here, I think black won't die even with black tenukis. And if black tenukis, it's a very big issue, because a tenuki here is very, very big. Maybe the best white can do is this, but then can this live? Hmm, doesn't look very easy to kill this. If we do it like this, this is looking alive, I think. Do you know how to kill this? You just Hane, maybe? Uh, move like a move like this might become Sente, but maybe white can endure it. So maybe do this. F4. F4 in the other variation, like this. Oh, F4. Yeah. You mean the Atari? Something like this? I can't see your variations actually. I could give you control. Oh, T2. Can black connect? Maybe connecting is a little bit too much, but you mean D2 now? Then you can Atari here, and it's difficult to connect because we can cut. But there's this as well. Sometimes this is the way to create a false eye. Not a false eye, like create a single big eye, and like this, then it dies. But white still needs to contain this. Maybe white isn't strong enough on the outside to do this sort of thing. Is there a better move for black? Maybe something like this. Yeah, this one just connects. So maybe this one is the best bet. And after this, you can always switch back to this. It's painful, but I think it lives. So if black really wants to be very safe. Oh, the game happened. The game went on like this. Okay. Hmm. It, hmm. And I think answering here is if you can't kill, it's quite slow. Um, it's much bigger to invade the right side because the best black can do is some sort of go here, but this go is very risky for black as well. Black might have to like give this Panuki up, and white is already very strong with E, so it's really difficult for black to find enough punishment for this goal, and it's a burden if black loses. Okay, you try to dive in. Mm. Do you know the pig's mouth? So if you answer here, then it's dead more or less. The thing is here there might be a connection, so the correct sequence is something like this. And if well, there are many possibilities here. The thing is when white captures, then you kind of need to answer on the outside, right? Because white is threatening a connection. And then now when you play here, not this one, also it still doesn't work. The trick is there's a shortage of liberties here. This is the pig's mouth um, Tsumego. Yeah, since the shortage of liberties is based on V stones and not the A stones, then this BC exchange might not change anything. uh, so what I was going to say is that there is a better move than S4 because S4 dies, and better move than D4 as well because d4 also dies. Can you find it? d2. Oh, this one. Mm. What happens now? Here you can just play here. Mm. Mm. What happens if this? Mm. Mm. Yeah, apparently this is also a code, but it's more normal to draw a code from here. Um, Winning the code with A might help a little bit with getting an endgame around B. In this case, the endgame around B isn't very relevant, maybe, because uh, black can block at C. If you manage to win through your variation instead, let's see, like this, The issue here is that if black wins this ko, black is going to be able to capture all these stones directly, and capturing all those stones directly uh, helps a lot with freeing some liberties around A. That might change things around the BC shape. I don't know. But on the other hand, if you manage to win the ko from here, let's say black plays elsewhere, we win the ko here. Now it's easier for you to like poke at A and get some endgame from there. Yeah, both have pros and cons. I still believe this is better, but I don't know. Yeah, but if you win this go as white, you can still poke at D anyways. So yeah, so it's okay. Mm, mm. So there are other ways of getting into a code here actually. This works. So this works if all the liberties are filled around A. If we have a shape like this, where there's an extra liberty here, 2 won't work. So you need to do something like this, or sometimes you can draw a code from 2. If it goes like this, then this is how you create a code. I think both this and this are working for a code. Um, yeah, I think maybe this one also works because uh, because white needs to play here, I think, and then something like this. If white plays like this, then yeah, this won't work. White can find the second ISO. Yeah, so maybe this one doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, the basic options are A and B. A and B are usually the first moves we need to think about. And A doesn't work if there is an extra liberty around C. Uh, but do you have any questions? Were you going to ask anything? Mm, mm, mm. Mm-hmm. S5. Oh, you mean S5 first? This? This is a very good move as well. This is one of the invasion points for this shape. Now you have the option of diving in at A or escaping at B or C. Um, yeah, this might be a better option, I think. Here, black has 3 options. A, B, and C. Usually you play C if you can damage the outside shape or capture the outside shape somehow. But in this case, from A to B, white is too strong, so one won't do much against white. B is for really trying to kill white in the corner, or getting a stronger shape in the corner. And when you push in like this, you're giving the strong shape to black right away, pretty much, because this tiger's mouth is very solid. If we compare it to when black had played the Keima, now we see that there is a hole here at A that a white can maybe abuse. If white has the ladder, maybe white can play it, play at A almost directly. Uh, White doesn't have that many liberties in the corner, so maybe A needs to wait a little bit. Maybe you drop down like you did in the game, and then wait for the time to play A. But this still can work. Like, you played well. Dropping down is a good move. If black tries to kill you directly like this, then it's a question if it works. But I think we can connect. Probably you do have the liberties, maybe. So black will have 4. Can you? Kind of complicated. So yeah, the thing is, for black to squeeze you, he kind of needs to lose the liberty. Maybe it becomes a call. If he comes here directly, you can drop down, but then you lose the liberty race. Oh, you can do this, but it doesn't matter. So you lose the liberty race here. So maybe black could have tried to kill you directly. Maybe you need to do something like this first. Maybe this is the Tsuji to try something here. Aha. Maybe. Because if black plays here, you can Atari and then leave. Maybe this is the Tsuji. Anyways, so it can become complicated. The drop down here is tricky to fight against in terms of connection. You do need to take some time to see if this works or not. Yeah, black wins by 1 liberty if that whole liberty race happens. So it's pretty tight. But what I was going to say is that this is not the move for you to continue in this shape. This is the move, usually. This creates more trouble on the outside for black. And there's this sort of thing. There's a potential wedge on the outside, so black will either play here or here. And then now you can live. White has way more liberties, and the connection is a much bigger threat. And then now you can live kind of comfortably. If black tries something like this, it might be a little bit too much. Maybe black can get the corner back, but this banuki is just too much. You can even probably cut here right away, or just escape out. Yeah, this is the Tsuji in this shape. Um, and you can kind of think about this Kusumi as you not poking at black's very strong shape. Remember that if you poke at A, black will get a tiger's mouth on the outside with B. And this tiger's mouth is very important for the outside, but also for trying to kill you. Uh, so you want to stay away from it. It's very common for us to play that sort of move when our opponent gets a very strong shape. Let me see if I get to imagine something from the 5-3, something that converges to it. Mm, let me. The final shape is something like this. Let's say white reinforced at A, then black took the corner with B. Instead of white continuing with this move, often it's better to continue with this move because A would be like too close to black's strength. So you want to be a little bit more distant. And also D is lighter than A because D is not fully connected to C. If anything happens, you can sacrifice either stones, either C or D. And in this case, if you play here, you're also peeping at a bamboo joint from CD from both sides. And this is one of the smaller proverbs, the like less important proverbs, but it's also an important proverb. Like you don't want to peep from both sides on the bamboo joint because the bamboo joint cannot be disconnected anyways. So a peep from both sides is kind of pointless. But let's get back to the game here. When you just connect, there are various ways of uh, trying to kill white here, but you have to be careful because depending on the outside, maybe white can live or maybe gets a lot of liberties. In this case, since black is very strong on the outside, doesn't matter much the getting liberties issue, but yeah, it can get tricky. You try to start from one of the honeys. So let's see what happens with this honey. Sometimes it's better to just attach here, and maybe this is a better instinct because it takes a liberty from white, but it only is recommended if the outside is very clean and very strong, because white can get a lot of liberties from here, especially when white drops down here. So if you want to kill this as quickly as possible, you usually try to honey. If you honey here first, then you want to aim for this sort of thing. But when white captures here and you need to block, you might get back into dealing with a lot of liberties. Oh, in this case, you can just live, right? So like this, just alive. So I was thinking about the liberty issue and just overlooked it. So you need to first honey, and if, let's say, white blocks, you can honey again, white blocks, and then you play at the bulky 5 key point. This is how we better kill it. And yeah, this capture won't be a problem for black. If black hadn't this this stone, then it could be an issue, right? Because there is a coal here. But black can also uh, just pull back. So what was it? If white captures, black can also just pull back here. So it won't be an issue anyways. But this group also has a lot of liberties anyways. So maybe you can't really get rid of that many liberties either way as black. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's gonna be there for a while. You still have a hole around A, but even though it's disconnected, you can think of it as kind of Kikashi. It's just forcing moves that benefit you. Black is flattened, and you have the opportunity of taking a big move now. This one, you protect the corner, get a lot of points, and if black comes from here, you can maybe just play a move in the center to treat with those stones lightly. Maybe a Kema even, and black won't do much. Since black is very strong, maybe it's better, even better for black to just invade the corner. You won't be able to fight it out here. You're too weak. And if you need to compromise like this, it's really painful. You lose a lot of points. Black gets a lot of points. And it's gonna be a painful life in the center here. And this sort of move might become Sente. Or it's big enough now because it's a lot of pressure on the top side and on the center group. But what were you going to ask? Hmm, it worked. It worked. Mm-hmm. Mm. It's not easy for black to answer these moves, but even if black just answers here and you come back, it's not that clear if these exchanges were that great. But like, let's say you come back here, if black adds a move and you play here and black answers, maybe this second move might be too much. in terms of like black won't answer here. Black will probably try to go up. So if black answers here, it's a gain for you actually. So the first move maybe doesn't change much in this situation, but the second move, when black answers, it's a gain for you. Uh, Black could also try to fight it out here already because the corner is getting weaker. And if you try to drop down at B from A, it might be too much. Like the corner isn't strong enough. And black is very, very strong from D to EF. So maybe this is what black should have done. Black should have gone up. Yes. After this, when you go up, um, white is heavier, but there is a defect around A as well. So maybe it's less clear for black than before. P14. S16. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the other issue. It feels like one is a little bit too slow, but maybe it should be okay still. Black can add a move here, block the center. It's a clearer block than before because before we were playing A. Then there's kind of a hole around B. It's not that easy to exploit as white because black can poke in at C, and it's difficult to connect B directly. But it's kind of a hole still, so white could abuse it from the, let's say, let's go back to the variation though. What I'm saying is that later, white can play here. Black can poke in and try to cut this. But we can see that this group doesn't have that many liberties. So blocking the center cleanly is going to be a challenge. Maybe, oh, maybe black can get this one in center and then come back here though. It's still, it's a liberty issue thing, but could be okay. White can abuse this sort of thing indirectly by playing stuff like this and then taking more points on the top. Doesn't mean it's good for white, but this is a resource for taking more points at black's expense. But from what happened in the game, you are kind of right. Yes, switching back to this point is pretty good. There's also the fact that unfortunately white got a little bit heavier, but white also has some forcing moves here to maybe escape with these stones. The center is really frightening though. Black has many stones and black is strong everywhere, but I think it's survivable. Maybe you can do some very crazy jump here and treat everything lightly. You don't need to save everything. It definitely feels like black played a little bit too passively here and lost an opportunity. I think black needs to come up here. These exchanges were very good for you. And this is kind of soft as well. Yeah, this is a good move for like reducing the top left and helping your AB group. I wonder if you could maybe play something like this to try to link everything up, but maybe this could be an issue in terms of points. But I think your center is bigger than his, so if you play one, you can develop your center while taking care of his, like reducing his. I think this might be a better flow. Maybe he doesn't have a choice. He needs to play something in the center to reduce your center first, and then leave his a little bit more open. But it's still okay for you, I think. Maybe it's similar in terms of points, in terms of the overall uh, plus minus. Maybe this is similar to what I'm suggesting. Okay, the invasion now. Mm. It's difficult to know if this is a mistake. I think he should drop down, maybe. Mm, tough to say. It's a tough choice. It's not easy to answer this. Uh, and if you can live from the empty triangle, it's a huge success, right? Uh, but I also wonder if it's even better for you to come back and live with this thing in the bottom right. Mm, 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 mm. But during the game, so during the game, you weren't sure he wasn't alive, right? Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a very famous shape. Uh, just like the other shapes I showed you, the this drop down or the pig's mouth shape or the pig's mouth tsumego. This is called the L shape, and this is like the maybe the L plus one or extended L shape. I'm going to send you a collection of mine on 101 weiqi with these shapes. You can look at those and uh, try to explore all the possibilities. But this shape is known as dead. If you add a move at A, then it isn't dead anymore. But it's very important to memorize these shapes because it saves a lot of time in real games. And mm, there are, yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Um, yeah, there are many shapes in the corner, but the L shapes uh, are not that many, and you can memorize them. I think there are maybe five max, uh, like L shape variations, and of course, depending on the outside, depending on the forcing moves, things can get very complicated. But if you just memorize the L plus 1, I think extended L plus 2, so four shapes, if you memorize like the basic variations around them, you get to uh, excel at like 80 to 90% of all these corner invasions, especially coming from the 4-4 and the 4-4 plus Kema or 4-4 plus jump, like we had here. So this is the 4-4 plus a jump. There's an extra kick here, but the L shapes that come from the 3-3, they are kind of similar uh, with either the kick or not. And if we have a Keima, those L shapes also come into play. And they're also very similar. The difference will be um, the severity of the defect around F. If we have B, the defect around F will be much more difficult to exploit, but the side here at G is much more open. So it's more difficult for black to block you from escaping to the side. In that sense, it's much more difficult for you to survive on the top left because this I stone blocks you from escaping, right? Um, so in terms of probability of surviving, it's much easier for you to survive in the bottom right. So it was, I think, much more correct for you to invade D first because it's more difficult for you uh, to die there. And maybe your suggestion of J is even better because G is more open. So if he blocks the corner, you can escape to G much more easily. And you can also view the top left as somewhat more over concentrated because he has his stones more clumped together. It's a smaller amount of territory if he gets it. But the coming back to the L shapes, and we have the pig's mouth uh, Tsumego that's very related to L shapes. There's this Tesuji that if you can play, then it's great because you get a call instead of just dying. Yeah, those are all related, and um, once you go through uh, the basic variations and once you get used to it, you don't need to think about it anymore, which is great during game. Mm-hmm. If you can play here, maybe the best black can do is this honey and connection, and you have to hope that this sort of thing is going to work. Again, the A stone is very well placed for this. I don't know if it's gonna be enough for Y to live. Maybe it's okay, I don't know. H15. Oh, you take this? Oh, now. Play this now. Oh, if you play h15 and black answers like this, maybe it's better for you to like give it away. Uh, let's say black answers passively, then it's a huge game for you. You can just get a big center. Black doesn't gain much. Black tries to keep on pushing. You can also keep on jumping and expand your center. Mm, this invasion is okay um, if you die in the corner from here. You didn't lose much. There's no need to uh, be desperate to live. At the very least, you can get a move like this in Sente, which is very, very big. You lose a little bit from doing this directly, I guess, because, well, you don't lose that much actually. If we compare both variations, you get the honey on the first line in Sente. Oops. If we get into this, now you don't have the honey on the first line in Sente anymore. Maybe there's still some magi, right? For white to play here. And maybe you can peep here in Sente and get some sort of disconnection. So you might still be able to get this honey in Sente. Maybe black answers still, or maybe black answers on the outside somehow. But if you get it in Sente, then it's not really a loss. Like it is a loss, but a very, very small loss. That's the issue with the empty triangle and why it is a very rare thing in pro games. Uh, it's because you're really investing everything into killing the corner. Uh, the outside is usually much more important. Uh, okay. And the key move for you next time is to try this one. It doesn't always work, and this can be the better move actually, but it depends. Here, uh, if you can maybe, even if you die here, if you can maybe like poke and maybe cut things, maybe this can be even better. But in this case, black is a little bit too strong, so it's a difficult fight for you. Well, you can get this one in Sente. It's still too much, I think. Mm. It could be somewhat of a comeback mechanics for you because you created a fight in the center. Uh, it's not easy for black to deal with. The A group is really, really weak, and you got B in center. It's difficult for black to counterattack around C now. Maybe this is playable actually. Complicated. No. So I think this is it for today.